Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on Love Pandemic. Call the hotline 575-322-8733. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a love pandemic, and I am your host, Liam Von Friedman. I'm joined in studio with our producer, Carl Voss.
Glad to be here, Leon.
Carl, thank you for all you do. It's so much, and we have a very special and wonderful guest tonight. Joining us via cell phone out in Seattle. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Patricia Atkins. She is the author of Sexology, and she's here to drop some amazing knowledge about dating in the future here in the United States with us. Dr. Patricia, welcome to the show.
Good evening. I'm so happy to be here.
Wow. We're just honored to have you. Thank you so much. I read your book, Sexology, and it was amazing. It taught me a lot about sex. The illustrations were unbelievable. In fact, our producer in studio, Carl, is holding up some of the ones right now, and they were very, very sultry, Doctor.
Yeah, Leon, I can't keep my hands off these things.
I'm glad there's glass between us.
Me
now,
too.
Dr. Atkins, tell us a little bit about what inspired you to write this beautiful work of art and science. It's holding up some of the ones right private.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
guys. I was having a little bit of a problem with some of the listeners. Said the one of the streams is private, but it should be public now. Hopefully,
I believe. Yeah, it looks like
those
it's
illustrations
working now.
really just kind of got me
That's
in a whirlwind, and you know how I'm.
guys. We
Doctor,
love Carl. He's in studio. He's our producer. He is one of the best, but he is a little accident prone. So when you call in, be sure to give him a little rib. It's all right. You know, we've got our incense lit over here. We've got our candles going. We are smelling all kinds of sultry, different scintillating types of things. And we've got Dr. Patricia Atkins on for all the way live from Seattle. You sound, doctor, though, like you're from New York. Is it, or New Jersey?
Yes, I was actually born and raised in Jersey. But I wanted to get out there in those mountains and go to Seattle. I spent some time in Portland writing some of my books, doing some research. So I just fell in love with the city of Seattle and Portland and just Washington State altogether, and I knew that's where I needed to live, and I love it.
Well, it's amazing to have you out there. We know that you're on the frontier of dating. Online dating's changed. The whole scene has changed. Everything is different now that we've come through this crazy viral outbreak. So can you talk a little bit about how people are dating now in the future out there in Seattle?
Right. So it's sort of a new thing for us right now. We're all trying to navigate this.
Sorry, Doctor.
It sounds like we have a call, Doctor.
Oh, please, let's take the call. Yeah.
Carl, yeah, we'll take the call, Carl.
Okay, I'll. Oh, you mean you don't want it to beep beep? Okay, I'll hit this button.
Oh, thank you.
Caller, you are on the air.
Hello?
Caller, hi. Yes, do you have a dating question for Dr. Patricia Atkins?
Yeah, I do. What is your thought on arranged marriages?
This is, and I try to be open to other people's cultures. Now, that's not something we see very often here in America, but I do try to be very respectful that, kind of to each their own kind of thing. I to me, it hurts me to see it happen. I gotta be honest, because I feel like those people aren't getting to actually be with the person that really sort of, speaks to their soul sexually. So I I feel like it shouldn't be arranged for anybody unless you're arranging it yourself, you know? So that's my take on it. It's hard to say. My heart goes out to those people that are in those sorts of arrangements. Uh, there's so much more to experience out there.
Caller, it seems as though there might be some audio coming through your line. Are you watching the Power Rangers there?
Yeah, I'm watching TV. Should I not be watching TV?
It's Dr. Patricia it's giving us some feedback here in the studio, right, Carl?
It's more of a technical issue, not a personal issue.
Yeah, right. It's just giving us a little bit of it's a little distracting, I think, to the listeners, and it's a little bit distracting to Carl in the studio. He's trying to hold up all these picture books, and he's had a lot of coffee, so he's not doing very well.
It was an episode of Cheers I haven't seen before.
Oh, wow.
So don't spoil it.
Okay. We're not here to spoil your Cheers. We're here to uplift you and help you in this time of uncertainty in dating. Caller, where are you calling from?
Ontario, Canada.
Ontario, Canada. Oh, wow. I'm sure things are probably pretty fine there. Are you guys still playing hockey, or?
No, hockey's been canceled.
Hockey's canceled.
And there are no new episodes of Degrassi coming out.
Wow, that's tough. I'm really sorry to hear that. What else can we help you with? Do you have another question for Patricia, Dr. Atkins?
Yeah. Patricia, when
Dr. Atkins,
you
please.
would watch cartoons and the cartoon character would wear like a dress, would you get attracted to them?
Wait, when I missed the first part of your question, but you said something about when the cartoon character would wear the dress, would I get attracted to them? But what was the first part of that?
Wait, could you not hear it because my TV was off? Maybe I need to turn Cheers back on.
No. It's a technical issue.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't. Sorry.
Caller,
Okay,
please, no,
I'm sorry.
please don't turn that back on.
Like if you were watching like SpongeBob and SpongeBob wore a dress.
Oh. If SpongeBob wore a dress, would I be attracted to SpongeBob because of what SpongeBob is wearing? Because I gotta be honest with you, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I've always thought SpongeBob was a very attractive cartoon anyway, and I'm actually currently writing a book about sexual attraction to cartoon characters, because as I've interviewed a lot of people, they all end up coming out saying that they were attracted to cartoon characters growing up. And I think it has a lot to do with just how we function, and sort of what sort of things we're exploring inside ourselves. So I think I would be attracted to SpongeBob in particular, with whatever he was wearing, because he's just a very attractive little sponge man. So does that answer your question?
My problem is like SpongeBob.
Oh.
I'm like, don't care. But like SpongeBob wears a dress, I'm like, oh, I could go to Olive Garden with that.
Okay.
Interesting, caller. Interesting. So it's the same SpongeBob though. And what is it that you think it is that's making you feel attracted? It's not that very unique curvature of that sponge bottom? Or is it the fact that it's dressed just a certain way with lipstick and shiny chemicals on its body? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been racking my brains trying to figure out. I think sometimes it also
Let me ask you a question,
makes
caller.
him sound like he's wearing talking with a helium balloon.
When Bugs Bunny dresses as a woman, do you also feel the same feeling?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
What about Elmer Fudd?
I haven't personally seen that, but I think, yeah, I could get behind that.
Okay, it
Is
sounds
it-
to me like you are a cisgender hetero male.
I have a question too. Is it only with animated characters? Like, what if you took a dress and you put it on, I don't know, let's say, do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? Would you, if you put a dress on your dog or cat, would you maybe then feel attracted to them?
Well, my dog ran away, so
Oh my God, I'm
hard to
so
picture.
sorry that I brought that up. I apologize. I had no
That's
idea.
okay.
Oh wow.
He
I'm very
goes
sorry to
on.
hear.
He goes on runs and he comes back. It's an arrangement.
Oh,
Are you seeing more than one, or do you have more than one pet?
I got a couple of cats.
Interesting, caller.
have you ever put dresses on these cats before?
Have I ever put what on?
Dresses on your cats?
No, I don't own. I don't own any dresses. I'm just asking, like I'm watching Transformers, okay? And Optimus Prime transforms into Optimus Prime, but he's wearing a dress. Like, what does that mean?
I think it means that Optimus Prime just wanted to wear a dress.
I gotta tell you, I wish hockey was still on. I'm racking my brains trying to figure this
I
out.
tell you what, you have a lot of time in quarantine to think about this and to work through these things. And I think that you're off to a
What-
really good
what-
start asking these
what's
questions to yourself.
what-
I think that that Dr. Atkins has done an amazing job. I'd say a tremendous, even job of assessing your situation. And we really appreciate your calling in, caller. Thank you so much for your time today. Here calling in to Love Pandemic. Now, before we let you go, can I ask you just, what else do you have to say to all the people out there navigating this new dating reality?
I guess just like swipe right on yourself.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
I could think. Thank you for that. That was a delicious nugget of wisdom.
All right, I'm gonna go back to watching Cheers.
All right, enjoy your Power Rangers, sir. Wow, truly enlightening, wasn't that, Doctor?
Oh, yeah. I really wanted to know why he
Yeah.
asked about arranged marriages. Do you think that he was in one? Because he just asked about it and then we just sort of moved on. But he sounded, there was a sadness to his voice, I could feel it.
Yeah, it sounded
Did
like
you feel that?
something was missing in him. I could tell that deep down he just wasn't quite satisfied with his life. That he was just, from a very young age, just kind of saddened and empty. As far as his view of the world. My heart goes out to him, and I hope that hockey comes back soon.
And we have a question from a commenter online. Alan Smithy asks, do you ever feel if Keanu Reeves were a girl, he'd kind of look attractive?
Wow, this is an interesting question, and it's reminiscent a little bit of our last caller. Wouldn't you think so, Dr. Patricia Atkins?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this whole sort of metamorphosis happening. Like the people are just being more open about transgender, or just maybe, hey, maybe it's okay that I'm attracted to somebody normally that wouldn't be in a dress but is in a dress now, or just somebody that would I be attracted to them if they were a different gender than what as we know them to be. And I really like that we're all embracing it in this time, and sort of perhaps that's what happens when people think that it's like the end of times. They start to be like just more open than normal.
Wow, that's a really good observation, Doctor. Yeah. I mean, thinking about the end of time, or that there is a limited time, it does make you want to... It does make you want to take action quickly. Sorry, we're having a few technical difficulties, Carl.
That was a weird, it's called a guttural hiccup. And sometimes I get it when I know a call is coming in. So look like I'm going to answer this call here.
Sounded like a mouth fart.
Caller, you are on the air.
Caller, welcome to Love Pandemic. What's your question for Dr. Patricia Atkins?
It's a question of spades.
Hello. Did you say something about David Spade? Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. We're live.
Yes, I have a very interesting love pandemic going on here.
Yes, tell us about your love pandemic, young man.
I am calling. I'm currently incarcerated, and I'm surrounded by men, and there's multiple pandemics going on, not only with the corona, but other pandemics as well. But I'm calling about a certain question.
Okay. We have context. Please tell us your question.
Do you only deal 7 cards out in spades, or do you deal the whole deck out? There's a pandemic going on about how we play spades right now, and I don't know what to do. I'm looking for guidance.
So it sounds like there are consequences here if you don't deal the deck properly. Am I correct when I assumed that?
That would be consequences if the whole deck isn't dealt properly.
This definitely sounds like a problem. Doctor,
It's a pandemic. I'm not worried about corona, man. I'm worried about how the deck is dealt. That's my question.
Is this a metaphor somehow to dating and relationships? Because that is what our show is about,
It is
Paula.
because relationships will be broken if the cards aren't dealt right.
Oh, well, but not just any relationships. We're talking about romantic relationships. Are you with your significant other
Well,
at the
you
moment?
never know how these things go. Sometimes somebody winds up somebody's bitch if something doesn't go right. That's why it has to be dealt with in a proper way. I ain't trying to
see.
be somebody's bitch tonight because the cards weren't dealt properly.
wow.
Well,
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm amazed that you even were able to call in. That's awesome.
This is jail, man. We got everything in this bitch.
Right. Yeah, I'm hearing reports actually that a lot of the singles they're going to let out of there because a lot of people are having problems with this dating thing, and
I'm just waiting for the governor, man, to set me free.
yeah, I mean it's possible that it could happen. Are you single or are you a top bitch or a bottom bitch?
I'm a bear. I'm not like the twink in the situation.
Okay.
I know twinks though.
Sure.
I like twinks.
Okay. Well, that's nice. Well, we wish you the best of luck in there, and I think
I'm looking for guidance on my question though,
Right.
man. I need
you're gonna have
guidance
to
on
Google
this
that.
question.
You're gonna have to Google that. Carl's gonna have to. We got other callers calling in. Sorry there.
I've got a flip phone, man. It's a flip phone.
We can't entertain calls from jail. It's a legal matter.
Yeah, it's a technical issue.
Carl's got some
Yeah.
baggage from them.
Whenever I get hit on by a man, I guess I'm called a cub.
A cub.
That's the technical term for what they call me. So it's very interesting that man was a bear.
Yes.
Because I think, if I had been in prison with him, I'm told we might get along.
It sounds like an interesting match. A bear and a cub. That does seem like really romantic and unique, and it does sound like it fits together. In some strange way. I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about it. I thought I'd put that out there.
Well, I've only been to jail once. I didn't hate the experience overall. It wasn't too bad, The food I wouldn't recommend, but the camaraderie. You really do feel like you're part of a community in there, and I don't know. It was definitely an enlivening experience. Something
did you
that I
have a
never
lot
did.
of sexual experiences in there? Any relationships, dating that you could share?
There was some very interesting times when I had to use the toilet in prison, and as you may or may not know, there's not a whole lot of privacy in jail, so you feel quite
heard.
naked and exposed. And I can't use the bathroom number 2 without being completely naked. It's just a thing that I've done since I was a very young, since I was a cub, truly, myself. And so I had to completely take my whole entire jumpsuit off and use the bathroom number 2. That's about the closest I had to a sexual experience in the can, on the can. I was just on the can, literally being stared upon. And my nipples were very, very hard because, well, I like the voyeuristic type of thing. So it was very confusing for my body to be on the jaw and turned on, but also needing to evacuate the facilities. That was my most intense moment. I did not enjoy that eye contact. Dr. Patricia, why don't we talk about you a little bit? Tell us a little bit about writing the book, Sexology. What inspired you to write it? And I know that you weren't always a sexologist. You were once a kindergarten teacher. Tell us about that transformation.
Yeah, this is correct. I used to be a kindergarten teacher. That's what I went to college for. And, I loved teaching and sharing. But it got to be where it was borderline. I had to watch what I said because with me, I was more fascinated in the development of more like the sexual psyche and the sexual development of people in general. And I would start to see these things in children at young ages. I could sort of start to see kind of what preferences they had or how they interacted with other kids. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna have insecurities about this. They're gonna be, you could really see their behavior at a young age. But I just grew so fascinated with that I couldn't really focus on just teaching the day-to-day things. And I ended up just taking a lot of notes and really observing the kids when they're playing or when they're just, working on an assignment. So I took that information and I started to write the premise for this book, which I actually finished recently during quarantine. It's been quite some years from then to now. But I just, when you're working in a field, but you can't really focus because you got a passion somewhere else and you got to follow that dream. So I did. And turns out I'm just a natural at just really helping people to experience who they are romantically and sexually and what they're looking for in a partner or multiple partners. Because, as for myself, I don't ever just have one partner. I like to really explore and explore, but also really indulge. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that if everybody is sort of in agreement with what's going on. So my book is a lot about that sexual freedom and romance and how that incorporates into dating in today's world.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Doctor, for sharing that. Your book is really one of a kind. It's a completely different perspective. Maybe that's because you were brave enough to break out of the monotony and write it when you were in a time of your life where you were frustrated and you needed some answers. So instead of asking authority, you did the thing that most of us won't ever do, and you found the answers to those questions yourself while you were sitting in a kindergarten classroom. We have another person who has written in. Alan Smithy asks, Dr. Patricia, what is the unique factor that makes yoga instrumental in improving, quote, performance, unquote?
Oh, so if I'm not mistaken, I want to make sure I'm understanding this, that he's basically asking about, is yoga helpful for sexual activities? Is that what I'm gathering?
I believe that is what the caller has implied. Yes, doctor.
Oh, absolutely. Not only do I speak highly of yoga in my book Sexology, he should read it. It's just the breathing and basically getting in touch with your body so that you can really get what you want out of a sexual experience. So I absolutely think yoga is very important for everyone to do every day. Also, before sex, after sex, with your partner. Now, there's some new, there's different types of yoga moves you can incorporate into sex. So yoga should surround all aspects of dating and sexual relations.
Wow, that is brilliant. What a great answer. Thank you, doctor. Carl, haven't you been practicing yoga, you and your partner? Can you tell us a little bit about what your experience has been?
Yeah, so me and Sherry, we always begin every day with the sun salutation, and then she does a little bit of fellatio on me, and it's great. For whatever reason, she never wants me to return the favor, and I don't know if it's the yoga, but it's working.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Wow, you must be consider yourself very lucky.
I'm a lucky man. I don't understand much, but I figure, why should I question?
Dr. Atkins, does Carl's relationship seem healthy to you?
I mean, I think it's healthy, and I think if it works for him, that's fine. Everyone has different phases of their sexual experiences as they go through life. They get really comfortable doing certain things, like maybe that's watching porn every day during a pandemic when you feel like, well, I'm stressed out, I'm going to watch porn because it kind of takes my mind off things. I mean, if that's what you need to do, I wouldn't say that's healthy. I'm very against watching porn because it really affects your actual sexual interactions. But I will say that, during times like this, I really cannot be too harsh about judging people about what is kind of getting them through this time.
Yes, it's very difficult not to be able to touch someone. Do you recommend that people watch porn virtually together via Skype or WhatsApp, record that, then upload it to YouPorn, then watch it, then masturbate to it solo or together?
That was a very detailed question with many parts, and I can answer that right now for you. I will say, I think all of the above. I think it's, but I gotta say, be
let's
careful.
say, doctor, let's say that you and I are in a relationship, and I have a very high sex drive, as all the listeners know, and I send you a video of me, with me, and then I send that to your phone, and then you watch that, and then you put that in the picture of your video, and you create your video of you really just digging into yourself, just really having at it, and then you send that back to me, and then I take that video and then I live stream that through my entire network. Does that prove that our love is deeper than any of our friends on our friends list?
I'm gonna stop you right there because you would definitely want to have permission before you post that on your feed. So I will say, if that's something that if it were me, I would say I need to approve this and feel comfortable with you posting that information about me as you, in quotes, really digging in to myself, digging in, quotes. I would have to be on board with that sort of thing before you just posted it. But if both parties are in agreement, I don't see why not. But it sounds like you could get into some trouble if you just go and post it all willy-nilly without anybody saying that was all okay.
Well, that makes sense, yes. And consent is absolutely 100% the most important thing, of course, still. But it's really about proving to everyone else that your love is undying and it's better than theirs. And theirs is stupid and infantile and immature. But our love, theoretically speaking, of course, I mean this hypothetically, doctor, our love will soar higher than any eagle and look down upon all the little mice of the field and cackle and laugh and mock it, because it's just not what real, true, deep, pure passion really is. You know what I mean? That's the sentiment that's going around in the internet, at least.
I absolutely, we, wow, that was beautiful. But let me just say first, that was beautiful. The way you described that,
Well,
because
can I just
I
say that
want someone to fight for my love.
your voice is beautiful. I just want to say that. I wish we weren't in different places. I wish we were in the same room.
Well, once this pandemic is over, maybe we would find ourselves in the same place. I don't,
Carl, what are the odds that this pandemic's over in the next 20 minutes?
I'm not a medical professional, but I'm gonna say maybe around 10%.
10%.
Is that low?
that's not high enough. I'll say,
nine-
I'll say it's not high enough.
9 out of 10 ain't bad, right?
It's not. 9 out of 10.
But 1
ain't
out
bad.
of 10 is bad, right?
1 out of 10 is not great
Yes.
odds.
So I don't think I wouldn't think so. Hey, Dr. Atkins, I mean, the obvious question seems to be, like, if I were a dating man, how do I get out into that world with all the women, into the field, where my prey are, right? To capture me a beautiful woman in this pandemic. What's the strategy to entrapping a woman's attention?
Wow. Well, for starters, using the words entrapping and prey can send alarms to women if you use those words to them. So just so you know, I don't want you to feel judged, but I want you to know that those words.
I could have picked different words. Those were just at the top of my mind. So
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. With that being said, to try to attract a woman during these times, what you really need to do is, first of all, you need to get using the stay home sticker on Instagram, because when people use that sticker on their stories, that really shows that they're just in it to win it, and they're just the goody goods of society right now, because they're really saying, oh yeah, I'm doing it, and the women will like that. And then you need to really make sure you explore what angles are good for you on Instagram. So practice taking selfies, maybe flexing some muscles, wearing some of your nice clothes, and really put yourself out there. Like, how male birds have all these colors to attract a mate, and they put on a show. I want you to do that, and then, but except on social media. So you've got to kind of put on the show, and then they'll see it, and that's what you got to do. You got to do a dance, because right now you can't take them out to their favorite restaurant and buy them tacos. You can't play a song for them. Well, you can play a song for them on your guitar, but it can be done on social media. So you got to show them you're a jack of all trades, and I believe, in fact, that you are. You can do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, so and I hope the listeners take that to heart. I'm happily, very, very happily married, but I just kind of wanted to speak for the collective, and
I'm sure all the single guys out there really appreciate that. All the people on Tinder and Bumble and Hinge and Grindr. We actually have someone very special just popped into the studio. Guys, this is a huge, very, very exciting honor that we have. We have, ladies and gentlemen, the very well-known, he really needs no introduction, and I'm so excited to ask a question that one of our folks has written in. Ladies and gentlemen, Wade Wexler is in the studio. Wade, welcome to the studio on Love Pandemic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for popping in.
Big
We really
fan,
appreciate
Wade. Big fan.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Me and my wife both.
I've seen all your videos.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really, really good.
That's good.
Yeah. The sound of the chain of the man. That was one of my favorites that I saw on online very early on, and it was just a really good video.
Thank you.
It was
Thank you.
surprisingly heartfelt. Yeah.
It really was. I loved how dated it was. It had all of the elements of an old school video to it, and it was just a lot of great attention to detail. Your directing style is unreal. Honestly, it's fantastic. We had someone write in and ask a question, and I think this one is something that you could answer. Alan Smith, he writes, when my partner says she had a dream, quote unquote, about pegging me. Does that mean the strap-on is already in her closet?
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I guess one of the main things I would say to Alan would be yes, the pegging device is in the closet.
Yeah, because that's from a director's eye, right? That's a great reveal, right? It's
That's right. It's foreshadowing.
It's foreshadowing. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that was so just to the point, and I really liked how simple you made that. Doctor, would you tend to agree with our new guest?
Oh, absolutely. But to be honest, I would agree with anything Wade Wexler said ever. So
Thank you.
I have a biased opinion, but yeah,
So, Doctor, you're a big fan of Wade's work as well?
huge fan. Huge fan.
I don't know that it's possible to be any other type of fan, if you get my drift.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, Wade, so me and Sherry, big fans.
Thank you.
And the thing is, normally we aren't into animals at all. We're like, that's
Right.
where we draw the line.
Right,
But
right.
but we liked how you kind of tantalizingly skirted that edge in the last in the 2 summers ago, I think it was Stampede. When that came out,
Wow.
it was
That's
had my heart rushing.
Stampede. That's one of my best films.
I mean, that was an absolute masterpiece.
Thank you. Yeah, like, when we were working on that, it was my 27th birthday at the time.
Good year.
It was a very good year, and one of the things about Stampede that I really wanted to get across to people is that the civil rights movement was much bigger than I think most people really got. They didn't really get that the freedoms that we were all fighting for weren't just things that made us comfortable. So I just really wanted to get that across in the film Stampede, that it's okay to be who you are.
Even if you're an animal.
That's right. Because
That's what
aren't we all animals?
That's what my wife always says. She says, you're an animal, Carl. You're
Oh,
such a-
wow. Does she really say that? Wow.
Yeah,
That's
like a-
great.
Well, no, she uses a specific. She normally says that I'm a sloth,
Oh.
Oh,
but but it's like you're an animal,
right. Because
Carl.
you just lay there.
Oh, is that what she's?
Maybe I don't know. Sloths
That
tend
might
to be
be
a
what
little
she's
bit.
saying.
I think she's saying that you're absolutely an animal.
I think so too. Because
Any animal is an animal, right?
I get turned on about it.
Yeah, it's good.
Maybe she just enjoys the style a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's kind of like a low hanging arm action thing that I do.
Because the women they love that.
They love long arms.
They love that.
Some
They love the man with hands.
arm women. Yeah,
That's right.
Some into arms, some are into legs.
I was listening to a show last night where a young lady had fallen into the love with a slender man who had very long arms. And she was just amazed by it because his arms wrapped around her many, 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 many times.
It's Slender Man.
Yeah, Slender Man. Yeah,
Slender Man. Is that that scary?
I think it is
Scary,
a little. It's a
spooky,
strange.
spooky.
It's a strange animal. It's not necessarily verified. I think you would need to be like a cryptozoologist or something.
Crypto.
Yeah, it's a cryptid, I believe. Yeah, that's right.
Slender Man.
Doctor, is that a phenomenon that happens often, where women fall in love with men with long arms?
Oh yes, I've heard a lot about that. That's it's just something about when you can, if you've got long arms, it means you can just do more things, at one time. So it's like
Right.
one hand can be here doing this and another hand can be there doing that. And that's just the way that it is. So I feel like you don't want a man with T-Rex arms or
Right.
a woman with T-Rex arms.
Exactly. Makes
T-Rex is known for can't do anything at all. But with long arms, it's just that polar opposite. People are really into the long arms.
Yeah, it's very hip to have long, skinny arms. I saw a man who was wearing a t-shirt the other day that said T-Rex can't do push-ups, and then it said Nana Nana Boo Boo underneath of it, as if to mock me, because I do have somewhat smaller arms, but I try not to think about it too much.
They're strong. Leon, your arms are so strong.
Oh, thank you.
You
so
remember
much.
that?
Dude,
You remember that time I couldn't open that pickle jar?
I do remember that.
And it was like butter between your hands. You
Remember how I took that jar and I tilted it over and I just smacked it on its little bottom? Remember that?
How could I forget?
Yeah, that's the real secret to
got that.
opening up a jar.
Have that image just kind of posted on the wall of my memory.
It's amazing, and I can't believe we're sitting here right now after everything we've been through. And we have Wade Wexler here. Doctor, do you have any questions for Wade? It seems like you're kind of a fan.
Oh, Wade, are you currently dating? Are you married? What is your relationship status during this pandemic?
Straight out the gate.
Right out the. Oh well, thank you.
Wow, doctor.
Well, I am currently single.
Single?
Yes, I'm single, and
Good to know.
single and ready to mingle. I guess is how they say it.
Right?
Right. Yeah. So I'm single.
But are you mingling at all?
Mingling.
Tell us
in
about-
a time like this.
Yeah, tell us about how you're mingling.
I've been.
How does one mingle now?
Well, okay. I'm a bit old-fashioned, and I still like to go out, have a good time, go see a DJ, go discotheques and such. But I like to, just approach a lady and just, ask her, if she would like to go out and, build a relationship like that. But here we are in trying times, and I just been trying, the dating apps. That's like a big thing. Just been trying to.
Which one's your favorite? Plenty of Fish? Do you like Meetup? Do you like Snapchat? Do you like
Snapchat? All the different.
Do you like GroupMe?
Medium platforms.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like anything's a dating app if you're clever about it.
That's true. I tried Tinder for a second, and that didn't really play out very much. It seems like I missed the wave on that one.
Yeah, it's a trash can.
It's a little bit toxic.
It's god awful. Unless you want to pay for sex.
Right. Just have to.
Which there's nothing wrong with, to be honest. Sometimes I do.
Right. What kind
Sometimes
of?
we role play that.
Well,
We do.
I mean, you bring up sex workers though, but I've heard
that's right.
that the sex workers have been harder hit than probably anybody, even restaurant workers,
Yeah,
right?
they-
Because
Right.
typically speaking, it's a very intimate experience.
Yeah, I feel like
Smashing going on.
that's definitely something that Wade would know more about with his background. But it makes a lot of sense. Everyone's suffering now, but doctor, do you know much about these sex workers and how this pandemic has affected their ability to love?
I've actually heard that some of them have been using the hazmat suits, and they have the helmets on and the gloves, but they just basically have trap doors, if you will, for the parts, and they still make it work. I've heard they're doing quite well. The ones that can afford the suits, because the suits are quite expensive, they range to be about $250 to $400. But if they have a hazmat suit, they can make it work. It's just a little bit harder because you don't get all the details of the beautiful curves of a woman's body, and I think they had to lower their prices a bit. But they're making it work, and I respect them for doing it.
I just saw the new Fredericks of Hollywood catalog with the crotchless hazmat suits, and they are completely sold out.
Wow.
Yeah, the sex workers are really buying those out. They've got to adapt to the times. We don't know how long this pandemic is going to last, how long we're going to be isolating ourselves, and I understand them completely. They have to move on and keep on trucking,
Doctor, can you talk a little bit about dry humping and how safe that is in these trying times?
So dry humping is always safe. as long as you maybe limit it to about 12 times a day. You don't want to exceed 12 times a day because things can start to get a little bit chafed down there, if you know what I'm saying. But if you're really good about moisturizing and you've got the right kind of moisturizing, then I don't see why you can't just hump your heart out,
Yeah, just rub away. Just rub yourself on your partner, and but not too much. Is that what you're saying, doctor? Rub yourself.
I would stick to 12 times, 12 or under. 12.
So you think
12 is a little much, but just don't go over that.
With 12 times, you think there could be some seepage, some cross contamination, doctor?
I do think that after, depending on how sanitary you are, how hygienic you are, then I think that yeah. But
what if you wear double underpants? Would that help? Would that matter?
Are they silk underpants? Are they so? Do you have silk underpants when you're dry humping?
I have many types of underpants.
So my wife for my birthday, she got me these boner pants where
Boner pants.
they're like silk underwear. Leon, you I think you'd really enjoy these. It's like they're like silk underwear, and but when you get erect, it kind of pokes out.
Huh.
So you don't have to fold it. It just shoots straight out like Pinocchio's nose. That's what Sherry calls it.
That's adorable.
Says, did you say, Carl? Did you tell a lie? Guilty as charged.
Wow. So where can I find such boner pants?
Yeah, I believe if you go to bonerpants.com, I think that's where she found them.
Wow. What a resourceful woman, Sherry.
Yeah, let me just peek in here actually. I forget exactly where it is. When I pull up the link, I'll find it. I'll share it because I think our listeners might really enjoy it.
Absolutely.
What do you know about boner pants?
I don't know anything about boner pants.
Doctor, have you heard of boner pants? Dr. Atkins?
Oh, have I heard about boner pants? Of course I've heard about boner pants. They're only the rage. I do love a man wearing his boner pants, and it's fascinating that they're made of such stretchy material. No matter what you got or what you're working with, they look good on everybody, and I just can't believe it. If I could wear them, I would, but they look a little bit strange on a 57-year-old woman like myself.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a sad elephant. Yeah. So I found the link. I remember the thing is that boner pants they're currently not being sold because normally they come from very high corona-ridden areas. But I found a local broker. If you go to flyingsquidcomedy.com/boner. It's flyingsquidcomedy.com/boner. You can pick up a pair for a really reasonable price. They also have a half chub special where you could get two pairs of boner pants for the price of like 2/3 of 3 or something. I don't know the math, but it's good.
That sounds really cool. So that's flyingsquidcomedy.com/boner. Again, that's flyingsquidcomedy.com/boner if you want to see what our producer is rocking underneath his Wranglers. I'll tell you what, Doctor, I wanted to say thank you. Is there any other anything else you might have to say about our lovely sponsor, Boner Pants? Maybe pertaining to sperm count, erection, function.
Is it safe if me and Sherry penetrate with the boner pants on?
Is that the same as dry
Dr.
humping,
Atkins?
Doctor?
No, dry humping does not involve intercourse, and it sounds to me like you are actually going to have intercourse with your boner pants on. I would be very careful unless you bought the silk edition, which is meant to be able to use as penetration or just dry humping. But if you got the 100% organic cotton, then I've got to say you don't want to penetrate with that. The cotton fibers are just too rough for the vagina to handle, and I really want you to be careful with that. Just keep that for the outside, the surface dry humping sort of activities.
Well, Sherry likes it kind of rough.
Oh, well.
So, did you
I can
Dr.
attest to
Atkins,
that.
do you know that a cat's penis has barbs on it?
I've heard this before, and you know, I actually only started hearing about that within this last year, and it was something about cats with barbs on the penis, which really blew my mind. But also ducks with their penises are like a corkscrew. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
Oh yeah, that's really really bizarre. We were watching the Z Frank video right before this podcast. Everything you need to know about ducks. I do recommend checking that out. It is incredibly disturbing. There are some things that you were talking about at the top of the episode, Doctor, that made me think of ducks and gave me the chills all the way up and down my spine. I just don't feel safe when I think about it.
Well, it makes sense because you might have, read about how ducks, it's pretty aggressive when they have sex. It's nothing romantic. It's nothing heartfelt. It's nothing where two souls connect. It's just purely rape. And quite frankly, it makes me very thankful to be a human and to be able to engage with our hearts and our souls when we have sex and not just be so crude as the ducks go about it.
Yes, that is fantastic. I'm so happy to hear and to have you on the show. Really want to thank our producer as well as our drop-in guest, Wade.
Thank you.
What an honor. What an honor to have you on this episode. Doctor,
so much.
we have just a few minutes. We have a quick word from our sponsor, and we have just a few minutes, and we're going to come back and wrap it up. If there's anybody... Oh, I was just about to say, if there's anybody else who'd like to call, we can take that, can't we?
Okay, you want me to make it stop ringing? Okay, I'll answer this. Caller, you are on the air.
Yeah, okay. So am I hearing about ducks having sex right now?
We were talking about
Yes.
that, actually, yes.
Okay. So,
Yes, who are we speaking with,
Dr.
caller?
Patricia, I heard about you. Dr. Patricia, and I am following you. And I thought I was calling up a radio show that was talking about romantic advice, but I'm a little confused right now.
What is your question for
It might
Dr.
be because
Patricia,
I'm
caller?
long distance.
Caller, what is your question for Dr. Patricia?
So, okay, so are we still talking about relationship advice?
Absolutely, we're talking about relationship advice, but we'll talk about any species or any gender or anyone under the sun who has relationship problems.
Honey, species? Listen,
We're
I
here to
have
help.
enough problems with like 2 boys, and now you're asking me about different species?
We don't
Listen,
judge here,
I have a
ma'am.
very kind of simple but complex problem between 2 boys, not another species.
Well, that should be a very easy
Is
question.
Dr. Patricia there? Can she not talk to me?
That should be a very easy question for her to answer.
Caller, please tell me about these
Oh my
these
God,
boys.
honey, to hear your voice. Oh, thank you. I disappeared from you. I went down under for a hot minute in Louisiana, and I lost track of your number because you're way up north. Oh, thank you. Are you okay?
I recognize your voice right now, but I don't. How do we know each other, sweet? How do we know? Because I recognize your voice, and I have a
Okay,
lot of
so
followers.
it's
You
not
gotta
just
refresh my
me,
memory.
Okay. So, honey,
Where
at
did we
another
meet?
point
Where
in
did we
time, my
meet?
mom also called up, and my mom also asked you certain questions. Can you answer these questions for me?
Yes. Go ahead and tell me.
Okay.
Tell me your questions.
Okay. So, 2 boys, right? Trying to date these 2
boys?
Don't know. Well, huh?
Are you saying 2 boys? BOYS?
BOY.
B as in
capital
boy.
B.
Caller, please tell, but we have only a few minutes left. Please tell your question to Dr. Patricia Atkins so that we can answer it. Please, thank you.
Okay. Is it okay for someone during a breakup to ask if they can have their ketchup back?
You're so about ketchup. If ketchup means that much to you, I think that you should ask for it back. I
mean,
absolutely think that's okay.
Is the
condiments
ketchup
are not that big
contaminated?
of a deal.
Is the ketchup
Condiments
contaminated?
should not mean that much to anybody else. How is my love worth more than $2.79?
Perhaps you have to just look deep inside yourself and know that you're worth more than that ketchup. And maybe you need to say, you know what? I can let that ketchup stay there because you know what? I don't want to
Just let
look
it
at
go
that
stale?
ketchup anymore and
Just
think
let it go
about the
stale, not like
memories
my
and just
heart?
move
Just
on.
let it go?
Just let it go because you know what? You're better than that ketchup.
And you know what else, caller?
Dr.
And
Patricia, my one question of the night, Dr. Patricia. Can my love grow from that ketchup anew?
I think it can. I think it absolutely can grow. I think if you put your mind to it, you can do it.
you can grow that ketchup. You can do it, caller.
You guys changed my life tonight.
And I just want to reassure you by saying that with the inflation about to be going up through the roof, that ketchup's going to be worth a lot more than what it was when it first went in the fridge. Caller, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
I love you guys.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
God bless.
Wow.
God bless all you babies. I love you, my baby.
Wow, we really appreciated that. I should have got her name.
It's pretty mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling. Yes, it was, Wade.
Yes.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Love Pandemic! Exclamation point, which is the name of the show. It is a live call-in show for you to call in about your dating problems, whether or not you can get your ketchup back, what ducks do, when we turn our backs, or even when we were watching them, you dirty, dirty, dirty pervert. Well, we would like to very much thank our guest, Dr. Patricia Atkins. Thank you, Dr. Patricia.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had a great time.
You are wonderful.
I've learned a lot. Thank you.
And then, of course, Wade, wow, thanks for popping into the studio.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Wow. And Carl Voss, our amazing producer. Carl, thanks for doing all you do.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Leon, for showing me the way that you kind of use that, really put your back into. Anyway, well, we can talk about that later, but I just appreciate your guidance, Leon.
Well, it's my pleasure. I'm your host, Liam Von Friedman. It's a Flying Squid comedy party. Thanks, Evan.